Hello, I'm Madeline from the United States, and I'm the only cool, sensible person in my family. You'll soon see for yourself. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. One sunny day, my big sister Lucy, who is 10 years older than me, had a problem. Her bike chain got jammed in the wheel. You stupid bike! I shook it, I pushed it, I hit it, I even lifted it on my back, but nothing is working. Luz, don't get mad. How many times have I told you to control your anger? See the oil can in the garage? Maybe that can help. Drinking it won't help, girl. I thought you were smarter. Why are you looking at me like that? Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, maybe that will fix the bike. You're too smart. Sometimes I feel like you're my older sister. Sometimes? Yeah, always. Just go back and play with some sand. Wait. Give me a kiss first. I hugged her and threw some sand at her, and she ran after me like a drunk mosquito. Speaking of mosquitoes, did you know that only female mosquitoes bite? Yeah, go ladies. You know, since I'm smart, I'm supposed to tell you this and find on the internet. I didn't even check if it's true or not, but whatever. I feel better about myself. Lucy was my elder sister, but growing up, it mostly felt like I was the more responsible one. Yes, I have to mention it again. Trust me, I have my reasons. Take this for example. One particularly memorable incident happened when I was 7 and Lucy was 17. Lucy was supposed to pick me up from school, but she was often late because she liked hanging out with her friends. One day, she was late again, and I waited on the school steps with my teacher, Mrs. Andrews, keeping me company. Your sister is a dumbhead. I appreciate your honesty, but that's kind of rude. Just then, Lucy came running around the corner. Her hair was a mess. Lucy, this is unacceptable. You haven't changed. I thought people get more responsible when they get older. Seems like that's not the case with you. Well, Mrs. Andrews, you're older too, but you haven't gotten any less grumpy, have you? Or do you miss me as your student? You miss my pranks, yeah? Turn around, show me your hair. Do you still have that bald spot? Mrs. Andrews just stood there, her mouth open, and then she stormed off angrily. Just try not to be late next time, okay? You got it, boss. As you might have guessed, it was often Lucy who looked after me. But not because our parents were bad or anything. It's just that these days, they're wonderful people married to different people. But Lucy wasn't allowing anyone to take care of me except for her. She acted like a mom. A loser one, but the girl was trying. Yep, my parents got divorced when I was 5 years old, and 2 years later, Dad married this woman. Let's call her Tomato Ball, like Lucy does. She named her that because her butt is round. I don't know about the tomato part or the redness. I swear I didn't see anything. But since I respect stepmom and also kinda love her, let's hope Lucy doesn't watch this. I'll call her Tito in this video. I was really close to my dad. He was like my best friend and always knew how to help me. When I was unhappy at school because of my old-fashioned teachers, he moved me to different schools twice. He even paid for a fancy private school, even though he wasn't very rich. We lived with him, although Mom didn't remarry, but I think she just wanted to be kids-free. She's not a bad person at all. She's cool and funny, but yeah, not mom material, which is okay, as long as she's not annoying and toxic. But she was a little annoying. On my 8th birthday, we had the party in our backyard and Dad hired a clown. I guess the clown was like 74 years old, and he was boring and dumb. Kids started feeling bored, and some of them even left. Just then, Tito made the clown take off his costume, and she put it on herself and started performing. The kids loved it, and they even became nicer to me and wanted to take pictures with me. I guess they understood that making me happy would make my parents happy, and that meant they'd make more effort to make this party more amazing. It was a win-win. But Lucy didn't look so pleased with the happy rainbow and rabbits atmosphere, especially since Tito was in charge. So she disappeared for about an hour and came back wearing the Scream outfit and started acting all crazy. It was terrifying with all the fake blood all over her and the horrible sounds she was making. The kids were getting scared, and I told her to stop, but she wouldn't listen. She even started grabbing some kids and throwing them into the bouncy castle. Then some kid threw a piece of cake at her, and the other kids followed him, and a full-scale food fight broke out. It was a disaster. Finally, Dad and Tito dragged her inside, but it was already too late because all the kids had left. Then Mom looked at me and said, "We really taught Tomato Ball a lesson, didn't we?" Are you crazy, Mom? This was your plan? I suspected that Lucy wasn't smart enough to be this dumb. I knew it! Mom, thanks for ruining my birthday. Just leave and maybe take your adult baby with you. Just then, we heard Lucy scream. We rushed to see Dad unconscious, and we immediately called 911. Dad had slipped into a coma. Yeah, my dad is one of those MSA parents that goes into a coma suddenly. Let's hope he wakes up by the end of the video. The next morning wasn't a happy one, and Mom slept at Dad's place with us, which made things a bit weird. Our breakfast was awkwardly silent. I know exactly what to do. I want to become a clown. I'll work hard and support the family. I want to be a good clown. You already are one. You're right, sis. And with that, she kissed my forehead and left. Yeah, I was stuck with a crazy sister, a jealous mom, and a sick dad. Thank God I had Tito. Days turned into weeks, and 2 years later, Dad wasn't getting any better, and I finally decided to leave the private school and attend a public one. Even though Tito didn't suggest it, I felt it was a burden. And Lucy was getting crazier. Every 6 months, she had a different job. A nail artist, a hair artist, an eyelash artist, a massage therapist, and all those technician jobs that need a degree and a freaking budget to study. And Tito's income wasn't enough, and Mom wasn't any help. Once when I was in the 9th grade, I saw a young kid who looked around 6 or 7 years old. He was yelling at the people inside the next house. Oh, you dirty, ignorant woman! I swear to God, I'm gonna teach you and your son a lesson! Stealing my money and lying to my face? How dare you, you filthy rats! He then started throwing eggs, rocks, and shoes at the house. Then he walked over to a tent in the front yard of the house where he was apparently living. As he was about to enter, he saw me. What are you staring at, you creep? But I was too speechless to answer. Are you deaf or mute or just dumb? That's too bad if you're dumb, because you're already ugly. You'll never get married, I can tell. Now leave or I swear I'll teach you a lesson along with Mom and my stupid brother inside. Shoo! It turned out that a single mom with 2 boys had just moved in next door. After talking to one of them, I really didn't want to meet the other one. And for the next few days, Lucy wouldn't stop talking about them. They say she's a secret second wife of a rich billionaire, and he wants to keep them hidden away from everyone. They say the youngest one has a rare 2-personality separated disorder. They say her youngest son is possessed by a demon, a female demon who wants him for herself. So whenever females try to talk to him, even his mom, the demon gets super jealous and crazy. They say those boys aren't even her kids. She found them at a church gate where, aren't you late for work? Nope, I quit. I'm gonna be a makeup artist, sis. Is there a chance I can borrow $100 from you? I don't have a job, Lucy. Get one, you're old enough now, no? Honestly, that wasn't a bad idea. It would also help me get away from home and all this craziness. So I found a part-time job as the assistant of a seamstress. In case you're wondering, it was all about replacing buttons, zippers, pockets, and even threading needles. 'Cause the seamstress I worked for was an old, grumpy, half-blind woman. Let's call her Blind Toe. I chose blind 'cause she can't see properly, and toe 'cause she works with body parts, and the toe is one of them. It's just a stupid nickname, and I don't even know why I'm explaining this. Anyway, she wanted me to thread a needle every 8 minutes, and she was from Ecuador, and her English was pretty bad. Sometimes it took me half an hour to understand the task. I'm not gonna talk a lot about her in this video, although she's a very MSA character. But my story is more important, and it's getting crazier. But at least, the payment wasn't bad at all. I was even able to help Tito sometimes. Some months later, I took a week off because I had exams. But when I came back, Blind Toe was livid. You, bye. I'm bye? Why? You're firing me? What did I do? You long. I'm only 5 feet 2 inches. No, you long, I no help. She's saying that your vacation was too long and she didn't have anyone to help her around, and that made her lose a lot of money. And who are you exactly? Meet Abraham, a very nice, sympathetic, respectable young American man. What happened during this last week? I like to be introduced nicely, so I taught her that. In fact, I taught her a lot of English, unlike you, who didn't even have the empathy to teach such a vulnerable old lady. Yeah, I agree. Vulnerable. You have no idea. Okay, so not very nice to meet you, and I hope you get 2 ostriches' toes because you guys are bad. Especially you, old lady. Bad. Bad. B-A-D. You just met me. Why are you calling me bad? She offered me the job, and I accepted. Also, I have some sad backstory, way sadder than yours. How do you know about my life?
I'm your neighbor, the one who has a brother with a rare two personalities separated disorder. Yeah, I heard your sister Lucy say that all the time. What does that even mean?
Dissociative identity disorder. Aren't you smart enough to figure that out?
Yes, but I also thought she maybe meant dissociative amnesia because it's a similar disorder, because it includes some memory loss where you can't recall information about yourself, so that might make it similar to…
Editor, please cut this part. Actually, please cut the last scene entirely. I'll just tell the audience that I got bored and left the job. Deal?
Don't worry, guys. We're not cutting anything. Who are you talking to?
Man, leave me alone. And with that, I left. This boy was super annoying, and after that day, he kept waving at me and smiling like we were best friends. Why would someone have a name like that? I thought Abraham Lincoln was the last one. Oh God, and don't get me started on his looks. I swear I once saw 2 lice on his forehead. Why is the animator looking at me like that? Why are you guys all staring at me? Even the music guy is smirking. I've never seen him smile before, and I wish I hadn't now, because he looks like a scary shark when he's smiling. Fine. Me and Abraham are dating. Yeah, you know, these hate-love relationships. I was supposed to show you how feelings change over time, etc., but I think the lice lie gave it away. That was stupid. Yeah, but our lovely animator will cut that too. Our relationship was a secret, of course. One day, Abraham invited me to his house for dinner. I didn't have the heart to tell him, I can't come because you guys are creeps. So I went. Man, their house was lovely. So warm and nice, and his mom was amazing. His youngest brother Adam was okay too, although the tent was still outside. I didn't see much proof, but I felt they weren't poor at all. Actually, I had a feeling that they were even well off, although the house didn't have very expensive things. Maybe it was the way his mom was talking, or the relationship among them. It felt like rich, classy people dynamics. I don't know how to explain this. Abraham and I kept dating in secret until our senior year, and it really felt like the best thing that had happened to me. People who loved me and a boy who took care of me. It almost felt like Dad was back. So I decided to marry him right after high school. Listen, I have this urge to tell you that my decision was affected by the previous sad years. You know, a father in a coma for years, a helpless stepmom, a clueless mom, a crazy sister. Yeah, like just in case my marriage decision turns out to be a disaster, I've got my sob story ready and can easily fall back on it. When I told everyone my decision, Lucy took it the worst. I can't believe that I'm the one who y'all call crazy and reckless. Look at me. I'm 28 years old, still living with my parents just to be a solid supporter and to help my little sister. Lucy, you've spent way more money on your professions than providing us with anything. That is so ungrateful. And also, Abraham's family is weird. Their kid sleeps in a tent outside their house at least twice a week, and he keeps screaming and insulting them all the time. I once heard him yell at his mom, "Are you crying because I tried to stab Abraham? God, don't be such a girl." I mean, she is a girl. That was so stupid of him. He has some anger issues, but he's a good boy. Also, I'm marrying his brother, not him. No, sister, you never marry a man. You also marry his package. And every man comes with a package. I can tell you're trying to say something deep, but look at you. You can't even say something that makes sense even at this age. You couldn't make anything of yourself, just living only because you're not dead. That was so uncalled for, Madeline. And you know what? I'm not attending this wedding. This is just stupid. I'm leaving. Yeah, like always. And with that, she left. Tito then asked me, "Do you love him, dear?" "I love him. He's my love. He's a piece of love itself." "Then I'm really happy for you." On my wedding day, Tito was the happiest. Lucy wasn't talking to me, which was great. Abraham looked cute and happy, and so did his mom.
Abraham, do you take Madeline as your wife?
I do.
Madeline, do you take Abraham as your husband?
I don't know why, but I didn't know how to answer that.
Say I do, Madeline.
I just stood there, speechless. "Excuse me." And with that, I turned around and ran out of the church. I took an Uber and went to the hospital. I sat next to Dad, held his hand, and cried. Well, I guess the sob story could work now. But don't worry, guys. Tito followed me and hugged me. He'll always be proud of you. Do what's right for you, honey. So I went back and married Abraham. Remember when I told you that I always had a feeling that Abraham's family was rich? Yeah, it turned out he and Adam were the sons of a billionaire prince who was hiding them away. I can't believe Lucy was right.
I never met him. Mom told me we were kids of an unwanted marriage, and no one should know about this. He pays us millions yearly, and I'm just content with his life.
Abraham suggested that we help Lucy open a salon that provides all the services she learned.
She was ecstatic.
Girl, marrying Abraham was the second best thing you did after being my sister. Being your sister isn't something I did. You know what I mean. Mwah! Abraham and I started college together, and I studied physics, just like Dad. And in my second year, I got pregnant, but I had no plans to give up on my education after giving birth. After all, I had so many people who'd help take care of my kid. Although my annoying mom had something toxic to add.
You know, your due date is the same day your dad got into a coma. That'll be your kid's birthday.
Shut up! And no, it wasn't the same date because I went into labor a day earlier. I thought my heart would burst when I held my daughter in my arms for the first time. She was perfect. I already knew what her name would be, Hope. Just then, a doctor walked into my room with a big smile on his face.
Madeline, we have some extraordinary news. Your dad is finally awake, and he's asking for you.
I just burst into tears and couldn't stop crying. I don't think anyone was now happier than me in the entire world.